Republican Senator John McCain is a longtime supporter of military intervention in Syria. He joins us now from Capitol Hill. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
So what do you make of all the news about some compromise put forward by the Russians and the State Department that might forbid a military strike?
Well, I have a couple of thoughts, Charlie. One is that perhaps this would not have come about if it hadn't been for the threat of a military strike. So there is some credibility to that course of action. But second of all, I'm very skeptical, and we should be, since Bashar Assad has refused to acknowledge that he even has chemical weapons. But I think the best test right away would be the Syrian acceptance of international monitors to go to these chemical weapon sites and get them under control immediately, while the details of whatever disposal and other modalities are being considered and agreed upon. If he's serious, then let the monitors in there right away. We know where these chemical weapon sites are, and get them under control immediately. And finally, some of us are already working on a modification to the congressional resolution that would require strict timelines and strict guidelines that would have to be met as part of the authorization for the president. And have no doubt that the numbers you just saw are because of an incoherence about the message as to exactly what the United States is trying to do in Syria. When the Secretary of State says that a strike would be, quote, unbelievably small, then what does that mean? And again, I still strongly believe that the only way Bashar Assad leaves power is if there's momentum change, which leads to negotiations and his departure.
Senator McCain, I read through and watched all of the interviews that the president did yesterday, and I was struck that as the president is trying to sell the case for a military airstrike, he repeatedly talked about how that is not one of his top options. He prefers a diplomatic option. He said, quote, "I continue to believe there is not a military solution to the underlying conflict, which is in part sectarian." Do you believe this new Russian-Syrian deal will delay a strike?
I think obviously it has to now, Nora, as far as Congress is concerned, because we have to see how this plays out. Again, put me down as extremely skeptical, but to not pursue this option would be a mistake. But, you know, again, the 100,000 people have been massacred. 1 million children are refugees. This is spreading into a regional conflict. It is jeopardizing Syria, Lebanon. Iraq is turning into a killing field for al-Qaeda and others. And so we must, in my view, continue our effort to support those who are seeking to negotiate the withdrawal and departure of Bashar Assad.
Senator John McCain, thank you very much. It is time to show you some of this morning's headlines. USA